Hey, Becca here. I wanted to share with you one of my favorite functional lab tests, which is called the GI map. So the GI map is a stool sample and it looks at your gut microbiome. So you'll see here on this first page, we've got some bacterial pathogens. This person's got some high C. diff toxins A and B. Now, if you've got C. diff in your gut and it creates these exotoxins A and B, which are extremely, extremely toxic, it can actually destroy the layer of cells that line your gut, causing massive leaky gut. It can cause a buildup of dopamine in the brain because it kind of hijacks the ability for that dopamine to break down. It can cause all sorts of gastrointestinal symptoms, diarrhea, bloating, stomach pain, things like that. So we've got some C. diff toxins here, and we've got some of this other bacterial pathogen in moderate amounts. You'll see it's in yellow. Now, a lot of these are actually transient, and you may be exposed to something like food poisoning, for example. Sometimes they're not so transient, and we have to actually, create a protocol to be able to take care of this. So for this, I would do a C. diff protocol, absolutely. Now, looking at the next page here on this sample report, this person has high H. pylori. Now, H. pylori has a massive causative role in stomach pain, bloating, ulcers. It's actually the number one cause I see in my clients for reflux. They come to me, they say, I don't want to be on reflux meds. Okay, great, let's see what we can find going on in your gut. 100% of the time, my clients that are on reflux meds have H. pylori. So this bacteria hangs out in your gut, but also in your stomach. I kind of like to call H. pylori the mob boss in the gut because it creates an environment in your stomach to where other pathogens can get through down into your gut. One of the things that can result from H. pylori is you can have lowered or reduced stomach acid. And your stomach acid should really be the first line of defense against any ingested pathogens. Now, H. pylori, yes, it can cause a lot of problems that are more like reflux, stomach pain, bloating, ulcers, things like that. Now, if you have some of these virulence factors, what that does is it makes that H. pylori more impactful. So what I love about this lab is it's not just positive or negative for H. pylori. Is it high? Is it moderate? Is it low? How much of an impact is it making on your body? Now, the next section here is your commensal or keystone bacteria. We want all of these to be in green. Sometimes you can have overgrowth of good guys. Sometimes you've got really low levels of good guys, which causes a whole nother set of problems. These bacteria are really, really important. They extract nutrients from your gut. They produce vitamins. They talk to your brain. 80% of your serotonin is made in the gut. 75% of your immune system is in the gut. So we really want these keystone, commensal, good bacteria to be an adequate level. So if they were really, really low, that might tell us that we would want to look at using a probiotic as well as prebiotic foods. Yes, there are prebiotic supplements out there. Absolutely unnecessary. There's so many prebiotic foods that are perfect. Now, this bacterial phyla here, these are bacteria that dominate your entire digestive tract, from your mouth to your nose to your throat to your colon. And so if either one of these are high or low, that tells us you have an imbalance systemically in your bacteria. Now, this Firmicutes is also known as the fat bug, in that if it's high, it tends to correlate with higher levels of obesity. Now, looking at these opportunistic microbes, these are bacteria that do not do anyone any favors. They're pathogenic. They are not going to be helpful in any way. Now, this test report shows all these in present levels. None of these are super, super high, but we would still want to get rid of them, which would be botanical antimicrobial herbs, basically. Because when you do something like an antibiotic, one, it will wreck your gut. Two, unless you're using a biofilm breaker to bust through the protective bubble these bacteria live in, you're not going to be successful with that antibiotic typically. So there is definitely a rhyme and reason for any type of protocol from this type of lab. Now, some of these bacteria, none of these showed up on this sample report, but these are inflammatory and autoimmune related bacteria. So if you have high levels of these, we definitely want to manage those. This person also has high candida. So we've got some fungal, some yeast issues going on. Now, Candida produces a toxin called acetaldehyde, which is why if you have high Candida, it can actually make you feel hungover because acetaldehyde is also produced by alcohol. No viruses showed up here for this person. No parasites showed up, but you know, I've seen them show up plenty on other people's, on my actual clients' labs. Now, looking at these intestinal health markers, I love this page of this lab. So if your steatocrit, if this steatocrit was high or moderate, that would tell us that this person would not be digesting and absorbing their fats, which is super, super important. You know, cholesterol is the precursor for all your hormones. So a low fat diet is a low hormone diet. Now, that could be because you're not eating healthy fats. That could be because you're not absorbing healthy fats. So, you know, that whole saying, you are what you eat? No, it's you are what you absorb. And so if this was up in this yellow or red zone, that would tell us that this person needs a digestive enzyme currently to support fat digestion while we work on your gut health. Now, if this elastase 1 was low, this is a pancreatic enzyme that really helps support protein digestion. So if it's low, that tells us, one, you've got some potential pancreatic issues. Now, I do see this low a lot with H. pylori, not always. But if this was really low, that would tell us we might need to further investigate pancreatic function, but also you might need a digestive enzyme to support protein digestion. Now, this marker here is literally my favorite marker on this entire lab, this beta-glucuronidase. It has been the #1 causal factor in my female clients with atrocious menstrual cycles, really symptomatic, you know, super crampy, super clotty, super heavy, just miserable. And the reason that is because if these are enzymes called beta-glucuronidase that are produced by bacteria in the gut. When it is high, it is like your liver is trying to dump out a bucket of toxins and somebody dumps half that bucket right in. So you're recycling toxins as well as toxic amounts of estrogen, which can cause all sorts of menstrual cycle irregularities and problems. So when we get this under control, it is like clockwork that my clients are like, oh my gosh, I had a normal period. This was amazing. Like, I know. It's really, really fun. This person doesn't have any occult blood. If this was over 10, that would basically indicate a need for a referral out, potentially for a colonoscopy. Now, oftentimes when there's blood in the stool, it's something benign, like a polyp or hemorrhoids. Sometimes it's more serious, so it's always best to get that checked out. This marker here is your gut immune system. Remember, 75-80% of your immune system is in the gut, and that's this marker. So we have the physical barrier of your gut lining, but we also have a chemical barrier, and that's this gut immune system called secretory IgA. Now, the perfect range would be 1,000. So when it's decreased, that tells us that your body's been under stress for a long time. Now, this could be emotional stressors, this could be physical stressors, biochemical stressors like pathogens and toxins. So when your stress hormone cortisol gets high and stays high, it can damage your gut immune system. So stress can absolutely play a role here. This person is also showing an immune response to gluten. That's this anti-gliadin, IgA. This eosinophil activation protein, if that was high, that could show some parasitic activity or high histamine activity. Calprotectin is a really beautiful marker for inflammation in the gut, so this person's got some moderate elevations here. And then this zonulin is a marker for leaky gut. So just how leaky is your gut? Now, on this last page here, this shows H. pylori antibiotic resistance genes. So if you were to choose to go to your doctor, ask for an antibiotic to fight off H. pylori, which really doesn't work very well. But if that was your choice, then these antibiotics would not be great options because your personal H. pylori has these antibiotic resistant genes. So, it's just more data to arm yourself with in order to create your best health. And we've got digestive markers, immune markers, inflammation, leaky gut, digestion, toxins, pathogens. It's a really, really fun test to see what's going on in your gut microbiome, because gut health is related to everything. It's related to hormones, it's related to brain health, it's related to sleep, it's related to mood, and balancing out gut function is one of the biggest keys to overall optimal health and wellness.